At the Victorian Parliament this morning, both Labor and Shadow ministers agreed working from home wouldn't work for them.
Obviously, many jobs can't be done working from home.
If the bill is passed, would you be taking advantage of working from home and working from home 2 days a week?
I don't need to. I mean, that's I don't need to.
This job is one of those jobs where you work Monday to Sunday.
Premier.
Labor's working from home legislation was said to be introduced to Parliament this week, but Victoria's new Premier had other plans.
Work from home will not proceed on the 1st of September. It will proceed on the 1st of July in 2027.
Ben Carroll says he still intends to pass the bill before the state election in November, but will consult with business in the meantime.
I support work from home. I support flexible work. It is good for working families.
It was the signature policy of his predecessor, Jacinta Allen, who he rolled a fortnight ago.
From the 1st of September, those who can work from home will have the right to do so for 2 days a week.
This week, a number of groups representing small and big business demanded the new Premier scrap the legislation.
This bill, if it goes forward, is going to bomb business back into the Stone Age.
They called it a dangerous experiment and unnecessary.
Industry data shows that 4 in 5 businesses offer flexible working arrangement.
Federal laws already allow for employees to request flexible working arrangements.
This new proposed bill would flip the script on that and give most employees a right to work from home unless it's not reasonable to do so, and then employers will often have to justify why it wouldn't be reasonable for someone to work from home.
The new legislation, which will amend the Equal Opportunity Act, will give Victorian employees a legally enshrined right to work from home for 2 days a week, if it's reasonable to do so.
This is the first place in the world that working from home has become a human right.
Workplace lawyer Dan Feldman is also a board member of the Victorian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. He says the proposed change is absurd.
They're equating that right to work from home with what are other very significant human rights. If it's a genuine human right, how can it only be available for 2 days a week? Imagine applying that, saying an employee should be free from discrimination, but only 2 days a week. This is ludicrous legislation.
Mr. President, honourable judges.
Jeffrey Robertson is one of the world's eminent human rights lawyers. He says there are universal rights.
Well, there's a right to live. It's probably the most universal. The right not to be tortured. The right to, and we could go on with those personal rights.
And then there are legally enshrined rights like working from home 2 days a week.
Well, it's not a universal right, is it? It can't be for sheep shearers or stand-up comedians or gardeners. Some occupations require you to work away from home. So it can't be a universal right, but it can be a right, a new right, a lead for Australia or probably for Victoria in the pantheon of workers' protection.
The right is a right to work from home where it's reasonable to do so. So if you're a baker and you need to be baking bread, you're going to be in the bakery baking bread. You're not going to be working from home. But if you're the bakery's accountant, then you don't need to be sitting by those hot ovens crunching the numbers.
Employment lawyer Daniel Victory says the new legislation fills a gap.
The current system under the Fair Work Act provides a limited right to work from home with people with certain responsibilities or attributes. So you need to prove at the moment that you have caring responsibilities. You need to prove that you need a flexible work arrangement to do those caring responsibilities. And then you often have to have an argument with your employer about whether that's practical or feasible.
Under this proposed legislation, disputes involving employers and employees over this right would go to Victoria's Equal Opportunity and Human Rights Commission. And if it can't be resolved, it's then escalated to the Victorian Civil and Administrative Tribunal.
The laws are being introduced into equal opportunity legislation, so that makes sense. They already have a function to conciliate disputes between employers and employees or disputes involving discrimination, so they're already equipped to do some of that work. I think, although this is a general right, I think it will really support people with caring responsibilities and other family responsibilities to be able to do their job.
The Human Rights Commission has a really important role in addressing what are breaches to people's rights. So dealing with sexual harassment, with discrimination on the basis of someone's race or their religious belief or their carer status or their sexual orientation. And here the Commission is actually being asked to decide whether somebody should be able to work from home on a Tuesday from their kitchen table or from their beach house on a Friday afternoon.
Why is it the Human Rights Commission's place to adjudicate disputes between workers, and why can't it be left to Fair Work?
Look, I think what we need to do is protect workers' rights and get that balance right between making sure that workers who are protected, but also we're supporting business to transition through these changes as well.
Why is it up to the Human Rights Commission to determine these disputes?
Industrial disputes are broad-ranging, and many of them can be heard in many a court of law, many a commission, and that's already the case.
But why is it the Human Rights Commission's place to adjudicate disputes between workers and bosses and not Fair Work, and who came up with that idea?
Pushing off consideration of the work from home legislation in the upper house for more consultation with business. We're committed to legislating from work from home.
The new Victorian Treasurer admits the bill still needs work, and with only 3 sitting weeks left before election day, time is limited.
So we're listening to business groups. I've met with the trade union movement as well. We'll take all of the views into consideration before we bring legislation back into the upper house for consideration.